This episode is brought to you by Anivia Pickleball, your premier destination for high-quality pickleball paddles designed to elevate your game. At Anivia, they are committed to providing players across Canada with innovative, performance-driven pickleball paddles crafted for durability, precision, and ease of play. Irene and myself are currently using their Gen 3 Pro paddle, and if you head over to Anivia.com and enter the code AGorman15, you get 15% off your order. That's AGorman15 at Anivia.com. All right, on with the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pickleball Diaries podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Gorman, joined as always by my partner in crime and certified pickleball referee, Victor Chan. How's it going, Vic? Very blank slate behind you. The house is up for sale, getting ready to move. Any prospect of buyers yet?
Not really. So I'm still waiting. So we're still waiting around, waiting for a buyer. Here's what it is.
Yeah. So anyone listening to this, if you're looking for a home in Edmonton in a nice neighborhood, give Vic a call. He'll give you a good deal on the house.
And I was joking. You might find some paddles here and there in the house.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he'll hide a couple pickleball paddles for prospective buyers. There you go. Anyways, so obviously, title of this episode is the CNPL Mid-Season event that happened about a week and a little bit ago because of some technical difficulties finding footage. It's been hard for me to comb through some of the stuff. But the news going into this, we had quite a few teams make some lineup changes. So the Drive lose Brad Chapman and Stevie, and they pick up Miles Hoover from the States. And we kind of mentioned this on the previous podcast. He's down in the States. I've seen his name, especially in singles in like the PPA Challenger events, because anytime I've checked on McConnor and stuff playing in there, Miles' name is always there, like in like the top 10 consistently.
Nice.
The other pickup they made was Jordan Vigna, who's a CNPL veteran. Who's been in the CNPL every year. I think what was she on Toronto United last year, and then on like the Smash the year before. But consistent player. And then the Lights, obviously with Joel having the season-ending injury, they pick up our good friend Jacob, and it's basically like picking up almost a younger,
but
Joel.
It's kind of no-brainer. Like we knew Jacob is gonna get picked, but it's like who's gonna pick, or is someone's gonna do like a two-way trade deal or something like that to get Jacob or some stuff like that, because there's several teams that was talking maybe they want to get Jacob, but like in theory the Lights is the one that wants the most, because I will say Joel and Jacob knows each other very well too, right? So I would say Joel will probably vouch for Jacob heavily in order to get him on the team.
Yeah, and also the Lights had firsthand view of Jacob playing at the APA, where him and McConnor basically cleaned house. So
yeah, exactly.
That was not a surprising pickup for us. Jacob had that one little stint on Toronto United while Matthew Kawamoto was out of the country, and then of course they had to drop him to bring Matthew Kawamoto back. Yeah, and now with the Lights, so congrats to Jacob for that. Then another lineup change. This didn't really have a super effect on the lineup too much. The Smash drop Natalie Araya and pick up Sophia Racine, also a previous player in the CNPL. This is more so, I think, just it could have been like due to scheduling issues. Maybe Natalie wasn't available. The Smash haven't really been using their third female anyways. Gotcha. So this is more of a person on hand just in case someone goes down with an injury. Maybe Natalie just wasn't available for the upcoming events. So that's just why the drop was. Not sure though, but that's a realistic reason why, because Sophia and Natalie are very similar, different play styles, but very similar skill set.
True.
And then the Yeti with Brad Chapman leaving the drive, pick up Brad Chapman, which was a great pickup, and drop Kobe, which made sense because Kobe, like we said, Kobe, even when he was announced, was basically announced as like a developmental pick. But with the issues the Yeti have been having closing out games and winning games, you needed that experience coming in. So no surprise there. Another big announcement just before the event is that they locked down Wendy's as the primary sponsor for the event. So Wendy's was there with product sampling. They had giveaways and prizes throughout the weekend. I guess they had the mascot there making an appearance. They had interactive fan experiences there. Nice. And then they also they were the sponsors also for like the night before the last couple events. Now the night before they've been doing like kind of like a celebrity / pro game events.
I saw that too.
And Wendy's was sponsoring that as well. So that's awesome that they were able to lock down a big brand name like that. Hopefully they can keep them throughout the rest of the season. Yeah. It also helps that they got that, and then this was also at the good games. So not only were you showcasing it, you had Wendy's showcase it, you had visibility with all the players playing in the good games coming and watching as well from the different sports. So that was just a great grab and a great pickup right off the bat. So that's everything leading into the event. Hey everyone, we want to give a big shout out to one of our sponsors, Cling Pickleball Compression Wear. They're a Canadian-based company that is made specifically for pickleball players by pickleball players. I personally love their compression socks. I use them all the time when I'm in tournaments. However, they are also the designers of the CNPL Northern Lights jerseys, which you can get at their shop. Irene also loves their ladies compression tops, and she wears those when she plays in the tournaments as well as the socks as well. So head on over to clingpickleball.com and check out what they got in stock for you. Back to the episode. Now, we'll do a quick kind of going over production like we always do. So day one, court 2 really had no issues. The feed was really solid. Me and Vic weren't available to help out with the broadcast. I was busy. I was busy working. Vic was busy, obviously, with the house and the baby.
Well, I was house hunting.
Because you were house hunting. You were in Ontario. Yeah, that's right.
I was in Palawawa. I think it will be a little tough for me to commentate when I was there.
So there was a couple games there where they didn't have commentary, but not too big of a deal. The sound from the ref was coming in through really well, so you could hear the score. They did have the running ticker and stuff like that, so that was good. On court 1, it was a little choppy at times. It was almost like they were switching the camera too much, and it was causing almost a little bit of glitch at the beginning of the day. By the end of the day, it was sorted out. And like commentary was great. It was the usual group of like Sarah McNeil and Reese George doing majority of it. They're always awesome. Shout out to basically our Ontario, our Ontario broadcasting crew. Yeah. Day 2, no issues with the broadcast. Once again, I think the last game on court 2 didn't have, or the last game or 2 games didn't have any commentary. But like I said, because the sound from the ref was coming in really well and all that stuff, not a big issue. Court 1 was fine. The only issue we had with day 2 was after the broadcast was over, there was an issue with it uploading back up to YouTube. So for those of you who don't know, when you do a live stream on YouTube, it comes in through as a live stream, and then what actually happens is the video then has to be uploaded as a regular video, so people can go back and watch it, right? Yeah. Apparently there was an issue with that. It didn't get uploaded. I talked to Jason White, who's part of the camera crew and stuff, and he had the raw footage that he resent to Game Plus for them to upload. It hasn't been uploaded yet. I have a feeling they're going to break the games down one by one like they did with the Eastern split, because if you go to the Game Plus YouTube channel right now, they have the live streams. Footage. Yeah, they have the live stream of the Eastern split, but then they've broken down each individual game into like mini 20-minute videos as well. So I got a feeling they're just going to do that instead of trying to upload like a 9-hour video, which takes forever to process if you haven't just done a live.
Yeah, that's
right.
True.
So as someone who's had to upload 2-hour videos before, 2 hours sometimes takes a bit when we go really in depth into our conversations.
Depends on your bandwidth.
Also depends on your bandwidth. And I live in Peace River, so my bandwidth is sometimes iffy in Peace River.
It depends on maybe your YouTube subscription.
Yeah, that too. Right. So, but So yeah, because of that, it was a little bit hard for because I know Vic, you didn't get to watch a lot,
unfortunately.
yeah.
I watched maybe one game here and there, not as many as I could have, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that happens with house hunting, so not a big deal. I managed to watch everything on day one, because obviously the feeds of those went back up. So even after the broadcast over, I was able to go back and watch the couple of games I didn't get to see live because I was watching while I was at work and stuff like that in between doing my stuff. But so day two, I got 3 games in, and then just busy with work and driving around for work and stuff, I didn't catch it. So I actually didn't see the last couple of games. And the other problem is because the video didn't get uploaded, I couldn't look at it. And also, still right now, as we're doing this video, and this video is July 8th when we're recording, the scores are actually not up on the CNPL website. So I had to message. Now, luckily, a few of the teams, so Toronto United, the Lions, the Rapids, and the Smash, and the Owls all posted like their results, their record over the weekend, right? So I was missing 1 or 2 of the Lights games and 1 or 2 of like the Yeti and Drive games. So I had to message Jason and say, hey, do you got the scores for these so I know who won so I can post? Because if you follow us on Instagram, you know normally within like a day of the event being done, I usually have our player of the weekend and like the rankings and all that stuff up. I didn't get that up until like this previous Sunday, so almost a full week after the fact, because I couldn't find the scores, right? So that was kind of the only technical issue that happened. The games that I saw were really, really good. And you can see a couple of teams now have really found their stride. A couple of teams have kind of figured out their stuff. There's a couple of teams still kind of struggling with the usual stuff they struggle with, but you're starting to see a little bit of improvement there. And then other teams just not having a good time.
have you seen if the roll court affected a little bit the play? Because obviously they put the roll court on the gym floor, right? It's not like your normal pickleball courts.
Yes, actually, and shout out to Sarah and Reese for this. They were commenting on that a lot. With those roller courts, the ball doesn't bounce quite as high as comparison to like a regular court. So you saw a lot more players getting doing net cords, or like their third shot drop was going into the net, or like tape, or catching the tape and stuff like that. And that was a consistent commentary throughout the week. Now, we can say that affected the gameplay, but everyone's playing on the same court, so it's whoever adapts quicker. That's what it comes down to. So it's not really a disadvantage and an advantage for anyone in particular. It's everyone's playing on those courts. You got to figure it out. So yes, it's a slight issue, but if everyone's dealing with the same issue, suck it up. Suck it up, your professional players. That's the way I do it.
Yes and no, because
it's no different than playing it. It's no different than going to a tournament playing with the wind. Everyone plays in the wind.
I know, but still like you can't put up your best shot sometimes when you're like the bounce becomes not consistent. Obviously we're indoors, so we don't have the wind to deal with, but like when the bounce is not as you're expected, like you. Like, for example, why I say that is like if you drill for hours and hours and the bounce like for you, like you transition from indoors to outdoors, like your first time transitioning, you'll be, oh my god, it's not.
Oh no, yeah,
it's not.
And I said that at when we did the APA, I said the ball is bouncing higher. I had to adjust, and I said I didn't adjust quick enough. But I'm not playing. I wasn't playing around. I was playing round robin. I was adjusted by the time I got to my third game in the round robin. These guys are better players than me, so they're playing 6 games. You should be adjusted by. You should be adjusted by like your second or third game.
True.
If you know that a particular shot of yours doesn't work with the ball bouncing that high, then don't do that shot.
Yeah,
I get that. And once again, like I'm not saying I would do a better job, but like I said, these guys are these people are pro players. You need to, and they make adjustments on the fly all the time. If a plan isn't working, they call a timeout. They make an adjustment.
I do understand that.
That's the big thing. Yeah,
in this
no,
regards,
it's still a good comment because the floor isn't like when they play. It's not like when they played at the Atlantic Pickleball Club, where it's like solid paint, proper outdoor flooring, indoors. This is a rollout mat. The ball doesn't bounce as high, but then it's like, hey, you got to make adjustments. So I could see that being the excuse for the first like two games for each for first two matches for each team. But now once you've gone your two matches, it's now no longer an excuse.
I agree in some ways, but
it's how I would
can
look
affect it a little bit sometimes. It depends.
It depends if it still affects.
And it depends sometimes if you're on, right? But if you're off, then you're like everything is struggling, right?
Yeah. And also anyway. low bounces because of the style I play. Low bounce favors me anyways. So
exactly, it could favor, and you said it like also if it favors certain shot, it favors certain players more than the others, right? Yeah. So anyway, that's the comment I want to put on.
Basically, those players would adapt quicker. But by the end of it, pretty much everyone should adapt, and you could kind of see it by the end. Like the teams that realistically on paper should have been winning. We're winning the games.
Yeah.
Like they had made the adjustments by day 2. But the first couple of games, there was a lot of tapes, a lot of like net cords and stuff like that, which you didn't normally see, but is what it is.
Well, the next one won't be happening is in Newmarket, so it should be happening.
Oh no, it's in a proper indoor facility.
Exactly.
Exactly. And same thing with the one after that. It's going to be at the oh my God, I'm blanking.
Where's that? The next one?
The next one, Vancouver.
Vancouver.
Oh no, it's not. No. Sorry,
no.
No. It's Metropolitan's at Newmarket. Central is at. Why am I blanking where Central is at? I can't remember now. Where the heck is the Central at? I have it here on my on the notes. London. So it's at the Smash facility.
Okay, Smash facility. And then you're good.
Yeah, and then the Vancouver one's going to be at the iPop. So
iPop. Yeah, they still haven't announced a playoff though.
No, they haven't announced. We've had rumors of where it might be.
Yeah, I know. But I'm hoping it's back east because I'll be east.
Well, I'm hoping it's west because then I get to do it. You'll get to see a bunch next year, Vic. What are you talking about?
Oh man, yes and no. We'll see. We'll see. It depends on where it's gonna be, but like it's gonna.
Yeah.
If it's east, perfect. I'll just make out a trip.
Hopefully they do one at the Forge, and then it's only a 2-hour drive for.
Yeah, well, 2.5 depends on the freaking traffic.
Because if they're doing if they're doing a PPA there, they can definitely do a CNPL there.
Oh yeah, for sure. The Forge actually is expanding. Do you know that? They have.
Oh nice.
I think they have 9 courts. They're gonna expand to close to 14 or something like that.
Even better.
I just heard. So it's gonna be starting to get to almost a provincial level facility.
Nice.
And there's a lot of facility starting to open up in Ottawa. And as we heard, I think East is maybe 2 years behind from the West, so it's starting to slowly catch up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the nice thing is because they were a little bit slower than the West getting all the indoor courts, they're making the adjustments that the West didn't, where they're making sure all the courts are proper width, proper length. So that you don't have like that narrow problem, you have everything that's like tournament worthy, right? Yes. Which has been the big issue now, especially like here in Alberta. A lot of the facilities, if you're talking about like tournament size courts, a lot of them don't have it.
No, there's just a few here, unfortunately. Maybe. Yeah.
But yeah. Hey everybody, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor Tyrol Pickleball. I'm holding their Velocity V shoe right here. It's the orange and teal one. It's awesome and I love using this on the court. So for a pickleball shoe that delivers stability, breathability, comfort, and durability, head over to TyrolPickleball.com and enter AGorman20 at checkout to get 20% off your order. We want to give Tyrol a big shout out. Thank you so much for supporting us. Better grip, better balance, better game, designed for the way pickleball is actually played. Back to the episode. All right, so jumping into day 1. So we'll go through all of court 1 and then we'll hop back over to court 2. So court 1, first game was the York Yeti versus the Detroit Windsor Drive. So this was like the Brad Chapman vengeance match. Now, surprisingly for the Yeti, they were only, at least in the games that I saw, they were only using Brad for the mixed. Like they were sticking with Kyle and Mikkel for the men's. And in this one, it worked out. Also, to note, the first 2 games for Detroit, Miles wasn't there. So I think his flight came in late.
Gotcha.
Because I didn't see him until game 3 for the drive. So they went with Evan and Nick, or Nicholas. So Kyle McHale win the first one 21-20. Nice close game. Audrey and Ava win 21-20 versus Una and Alexis.
Mm-hmm.
And then Evan and Alexis beat Mikkel and Audrey 21-17, but then Brad and Ava come in and win 21-17 over Nick and Una. Yeti take that 3-1, and Brad looked like he was in his comfort zone. Him and Ava played really, really well together.
Nice.
Next, you had a battle of some of the top seeds, London Smash versus Toronto United. This one was a really good game. And this was another thing I noticed, at least for the first day with the Smash. Like I said, I didn't get to see the games on day 2. Xavier played all of them. Like he played the men's and the mix. So I don't know. And Mark was there. I saw him on the side. So I don't know if maybe he's nursing an injury, because I actually really liked their lineup where they had Ryan and Mark, but then they brought in Xavier for the mix and then had Xavier for the singles. But it didn't really matter in this. So it was Ryan and Xavier versus Max and Rizzo. And this was the most dominant I've seen Max and Rizzo get handled. It was 21-14 for Ryan and Xavier.
Wow.
And then a really good and the women's match between these two teams is always insanely good. Anne Sophie and Abika win 21-20 over Jada and Maria.
Wow.
Max and Jada come back and win 21-17 over Ryan and Anne Sophie.
Okay.
And then Xavier and Abika win 21-14 over Rizzo and Maria. Smash take it 3-1.
Nice.
Then we got the Drive versus the Northern Lights.
Would you call it as an upset or not really?
No. The Smash beating Toronto United? No, because technically the Smash are actually ranked higher than Toronto United, even though going into this event they were tied, but Smash technically have more game wins than Toronto United going into this.
I'll say in this case, because using Xavier, I'm not trying to downplay Xavier's not as good, but just saying.
I would say if Matt was playing, yes, but because they used Rizzo in both the men's and the mixed,
maybe that's true.
Him and Xavier are very, very similar in skill. That's almost a wash, right? If you had Max and Matt playing versus Ryan and Xavier, I say that would have been an upset, especially if you just look at Duper. And then same thing, Matt and Maria against Xavier and Abika, I would have considered that an upset. But because you have Xavier and Abika versus Rizzo and Maria, Abika and Maria is kind of a wash. So then it's Xavier versus Rizzo, which is also kind of watched. So that could have gone either way. But Xavier's been playing insanely well with Abika over the past couple of events. Hence why I think they're keeping him in that mixed thing. I was just surprised that they put him in the men's instead of Mark, because Mark and Ryan have been playing so good together. But didn't really matter in this one. Xavier played really well in both the men's and the mixed, and the Smash take it 3-1. Yeah, so yeah, if Matt would have been in there, I would have considered it more of an upset. But because it was Rizzo, him and Xavier are closer in skill and oh my god, experience. That's the word I was looking for. My god. But yeah, in skill and experience, they're about the same. Whereas if it would have been Matt Kawamoto in there, experience and just skill-wise, I would have considered it more of an upset.
Gotcha.
Then we got the Drive versus the Lights. Jacob and Ben versus Evan and Nick. Jacob and Ben handle it very, very well, 21-15. Then you have Jess and Danny, 21-19 over Alexis and Jordan. So this is our first time seeing Jordan Vigna come in. Her and Alexis played really, really well. Jess and Danny just kind of took control, because it was really back and forth, but then Jess and Danny kind of took control as the game went on and finished it off. Evan Alexis beat Jacob and Jess, and then Ben and Danny beat Nick and Jordan for the Lights to take a 3-1 lead there. I noticed this, at least in the first day here. Jacob and Jess, like, they were okay, but it didn't seem like they were meshing as well.
Yeah, they're not as in sync. I would thought, like.
Yeah, especially for how well Jess was syncing with Joelle, and like I said, Jacob plays a very similar game, especially in mixed, to Joelle. So I thought that was going to be like, match made in heaven, but Jacob actually seems to mesh better with Luis when Luis comes in. So realistically, if I'm looking at the Lights after this game, even though they won 3-1, I'd almost say the ideal lineup right now for the Lights would be obviously Jacob and Ben all the way through. for the guys. But then I would have Jess and Danny for the women's, and then do Jacob and Luis and Ben and Danny. And then that way, if you do go to tie break, you have Luis there for your singles. Right. That's at least how, like, in my ideal lineup for that team is that's what I would pick.
And I think reason also why is Jacob likes the fast pace. Like we discussed that Jacob likes the fast pace, and Louise is bringing up the fire. Right, she's attacking it. So therefore, Jacob can insert himself right after that firefight. Versus when he's with Jessica. Jessica is more like a resetter, like try to cover. Like a grinding
she's more
game, right?
Yeah, she's more methodical. Like she'll reset everything and then she'll try and set her partner up with really good dink shots. Whereas Luis will come in and it's basically like two chaos players going in with Luis and Jacob, and then they're winning the chaos with the hand battles, right? So but lights start off really strong there with the win against the Drive, and it looked good. Then we go down to Toronto United versus the Vancouver Owls. This was an insanely fun match to watch. Rizzo in again with Max. McConnor and Armand take that 21-20. That was a insanely tight match going back and forth the whole time. I think they were stuck at 20-20, I want to say, for at least 5 or 6 rallies.
Wow.
Just no one was relenting that point. Kelsey and Anna take out Jada and Maria 21-16. That was probably one of the most solid games I've seen Kelsey and Anna play. Like, it seems like they finally got their proper sync down.
Nice.
Because you could see spurts of it before, but this was by far the most locked in, especially if you're taking out Jada and Maria by that many points. But then so Owls take both gender matches. But then Toronto United comes back. Max and Jada winning 21-10 over Armand and Kelsey.
Ouch.
They just could not miss. I know how we say Armand is very up and down. I didn't really see him really get down. It was just Max and Jada were just locked that game and not missing anything.
Nice.
But then same thing. But then the Owls sub Kim in for Kelsey to play with McConnor, and then Maria and Rizzo beat them 21-12. And same thing. It was almost like it was the first time Kim coming in. It was almost like paddle gripped a little bit tight.
Yeah, she's a little cold, maybe.
They couldn't really, and also they couldn't really get anything going. Like, and a shout out to Maria and Rizzo. They were, as soon as they noticed both McConnor and Kim having issues, they were just picking on that.
I have a feeling also because the ball bounced lower. That's personal experience. The pro players can adapt to it. But that's just my personal experience. When the ball is lower, the Owls paddle does not do as good as a job versus your regular carbon fiber paddle. Even though you can spin them very well, but I just don't know why. Those owl paddle does not perform as good when the ball bounces as like much lower than usual, and that's just a personal experience.
They almost need that like hip height.
Yeah, exactly.
Height bounce.
Don't take it for my word. I'm not a pro. I just play a couple of times with that owl paddles, and I'm nowhere near their level. But that's just a little thing I experienced when I was using those that owl paddles. So, but no, I'm not trying to discredit them on anything. That's just a little experience.
Yeah, exactly. We go to tie break. So I'm pretty sure Toronto United decided this lineup. They had Jada versus McConnor, Max versus Armand, Rizzo versus Kelsey, and then Maria versus Kim. Toronto United's hammers this 21-6, gets the 3-2 win in the tiebreak. Jada did insanely well versus McConnor. Max and Armand was a bit of a wash. Rizzo took most of the points from Kelsey, and then Maria and Kim, the first couple were a bit of a wash, but then Maria took over after that, and I think she swept the last 2 times she played Kim, getting a full 6 points.
Yeah, that was interesting, using Kim as a single rather than using Anna.
Because they made the sub after because they did the genders Anna first. Yeah. So that was the issue with that. So that's the problem with the Owls, because if you're going to use Kim, You kind of want to use her in if you want to use her in mix. If you want to use her in mix, you have to make sure you're doing the mix first. And like Kim didn't do bad, but like going against someone like Maria, who's like normally finishing, you know, up in the top like 20s and stuff when she goes down and plays like PPA and APP singles. And she's won a couple too.
Oh yeah.
Like it's tough. It's like me going against like a tennis pro.
Yeah.
In singles. Like I do okay, but I'm not going to win majority of the points.
You against probably James Kwan here.
Yeah, exactly.
You get smoke, or even even Eric K.
Yeah, Eric K. The only thing I might be able to do with him is if I force him to come up to the net and dink.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Like
if he doesn't come,
if he doesn't come up and stays back, he's just able to put the ball wherever he wants from the back end. But yeah. And then so next game was the Rapids versus the York Yeti. The Rapids took this in 4 straight. Men's was pretty convincing, 21-15 for Lucas and Darren. They actually put Darren in. I think that was the last game. Because I don't have them in the proper order they were done. And then for women's, it was 21-19. So a nice close game there. Lucas and Antoinetta against Mikkel and Audrey, 21-17. And then Brad and Ava against Bruno and Marie Christine, 21-20. That was actually a really, really close game. And it's just showing you like that because you have Brad Chapman there now, that game is like always close. It's always going to be there. But once again, they didn't use Brad in the men's. I'd almost like to see, to be honest, I'd almost like to see Brad and Mikkel and then use Kyle and Brad in the mixed type of thing, because Brad and Mikkel are kind of interchangeable when it comes to singles. Like both aren't really like singles experts, but Brad has won single events. Like the one CPA event that happened in Canada before it went down the drain, Brad won the singles.
True.
So it's not like he's a slouch in singles, right? But
definitely he can handle. It's just weird that why I think they're banking on Mikkel and Kyle kind of because they have been playing that so many times together. They just didn't want to break up and bring Brad in. But at the same time, you're like you need to like Brad. Like I'm not saying like Kyle or Mikkel, they're not as strong, but
you have to change the dynamic a little bit if it hasn't been working. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
Like you have to make some changes. Like especially now you bring in Brad as your person in. So anyway,
yeah. So. But yeah, and like I said, I don't know if they did that on day 2 because I didn't see the footage. So. And then the final game on court 1 for day 1 was Montreal Lions versus the Vancouver Owls. Super close games in the genders. Both the men's was 21-20 for McConnor and Armand over Ernesto and LC. And then Anna and Kelsey win 21-19 over Christina and Ariana. Ernesto and Christina win 21-18 over McConnor and Anna in the mixed, but then Armand and Kelsey win 21-14 over Elsie and Ariana for the Owls to win 3-1. What I have been noticing with the Lions, and we'll get into this as we go over court 2, if they get to the freeze first, they're having trouble finishing. Like if they get to 21st, like I don't know how many, like I know in this one, like Ernesto and LC got to 21st in this one. So that's the only one where it was 21-20. But when we go to court 2 here in a sec, you're going to see a bunch of 21-20 games. The Lions were the first to 20 each time.
Ouch.
Right.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
And the competition is insanely good, but when you get to that freeze, you have to finish it. You have to stomp the foot over the throat.
And especially when it's tough, right? You have to think when you're at 20, you're serving, right? So that's one means either you have to, you have a big serve so you can have a big turn to move in, or if you're starting to grip tight, then your third shot becomes high, and you have a tough time moving towards the net. And that's how I felt when when you're at the freeze. You're like you're feeling you're not able to make the next point because you have difficulty moving, be able to move to the net, especially when you're at that, because you have to serve, right? And I don't know. They're pro. They're pro players. So I shouldn't speak for them, but they should know how to deal with this. But like in my mind, is either they're trying too much. That's what happened most of the time when you're at 20. You're like, I'm just 1 point. I'm gonna try something different.
Yeah, you're trying to finish it on like a kill shot instead of doing what was working to get you there.
Exactly. Either this, or either you grip your paddle a little too tight because like, oh, I just want to win that point, so I'm trying not to do anything special, and then you became passive. So it's either the too extreme. Either you do too much, or either you do nothing, and nothing happened because of it.
Yeah. All right, so moving on to Court 2 for day one. So the first game of Court 2 was the Lions versus the Northern Lights. This was also a really good match. Ernesto and LC versus Ben and Jacob. Ernesto and LC win that one 21-20. Wow. And same thing, this was very back and forth at 20-20 there. Jess and Danny win 21-17 over Christina and Ariana. Mm-hmm. Ben and Danny beat LC and Christina 21-18. And then the Lions were this close to forcing the tiebreak, but Jacob and Luis beat Ernesto and Ariana 21-20, and this is where I was talking about.
Yeah.
The Lions got to 21st.
Yeah.
Right? So Lights win that 3-1. Mm. And like I said, Jacob and Luis playing very, very well together as a mixed pair. And like I said, Jess and Danny, they're again winning their women's match.
Nice.
Vancouver Owls versus Grand River Rapids. Lucas and Bruno win the men's 21-18 over McConnor and Armand. Anna and Kelsey come in and win 21-19 over Antoinetta and Marie-Christine. Bruno and Marie-Christine beat Armand and Kelsey 21-15. And then Lucas and Antoinetta win 21-11 over McConnor and Anna. Ooh. So if you're wondering why Kim was subbed in, because this was technically their first game of the day, that's why you had Kim subbed in after that performance there. So Rapids win that 3-1. And it's the usual, like, Grand River's been consistent all year.
Yeah.
The Owls, it's been the same thing. It's like the one side will show up, whether it's the gender shows up or the mix shows up, but they can't seem to find
the consistency,
that consistency with everyone together. Everyone showing up or everyone rocking it at the same time.
Yeah.
York Yeti versus Montreal Lions. This is the big one that I was telling you about. Kyle and Mikkel beat Ernesto and LC 21-20. Ernesto and LC were up, I want to say 20-17.
Oh.
And lose. Tara and Audrey beat Ariana and Christina 21-20. Same thing. They were up like 2016 in that game. So immediately they're down 2-0 when realistically they probably should have been up 2-0.
Exactly.
Ariana and LC beat Tara and Kyle 21-19. So then Ernesto and Christina need to win to force the tiebreak, but Brad and Audrey come in and win 21-9. And Brad Chapman just did Brad Chapman things, and Audrey played the Robin to his Batman perfectly in that game.
Nice.
Like go watch that match with Brad and Audrey playing there to see that's what like mixed looks like in perfection, because Audrey, remember, has that killer 2E backhand. Nice. For like counter punches and speed ups.
Yep.
So with her playing the right there, it just like Ernesto and Christina just couldn't get anything going against them. So the Yeti win that 3-1 with the big upset.
Yeah, that's
over the Montreal Lions. And they came really close at the Eastern Split when they didn't have Brad, because remember they took them to a tiebreak. In the one match at the Eastern Split. So Montreal Lions go 0-3 for day one to start.
Yeesh.
Right? And it's like, and I know I said at the last event, I was saying the thing with the tensions on the bench. There was nobody else on the bench. So that's not a thing, but it seems to be right now. They get to that 20 and it's like they're, like you said, gripping the paddle tighter. I don't know what they're doing, but like there's at least 2 of their 3 matchups. They should have been up either 2-1 or 2-0. and they just can't finish the point. They can't finish the match.
I have to change paddles. No, I'm just joking.
Maybe I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to what they were using, but who knows?
No,
Maybe that might have been.
That would be something I would do. I would just I would just go change at 20. Let's say you're up to 2017, and then like the next 2 points you're still not winning, so it's now 2019. It's like F it, I'm just changing my paddle just to change the thing. Or maybe
call a timeout and do a switch and get the male to do the serve just to throw a different thing in.
Exactly.
Right? It's changed something.
Because you just need 1 point. You're like, okay, now I'm serving. I'm gonna make that serve. I'll just do a quick stack. Okay, whatever, right? Because since it's not working, you have to do something more drastic than just do strategy. Hey, no, just 1 point. We're just gonna make that happen.
Yeah, exactly. Next game was the Smash versus Grand River Rapids. This is always a good matchup. This is probably my favorite matchup this year so far in the CNPL. It's either this or actually Toronto United and the Lions, and Toronto United and the Smash is also a good one. But so far this one's had the most heat because usually Anne-Sophie and Antoinette are beaking at each other throughout the match.
Even though they're friends, that's so weird.
But men's doubles, this was a really dominant performance by Lucas and Bruno. They win 21-14 over Ryan and Xavier. But then Anna and Abika come in and win 21-16 over Antoinetta and Marie-Christine. Bruno and Marie-Christine beat Ryan and Anne-Sophie 21-20. That was a super close match. Wow. Another one, if you want to go back and watch the footage of just that mixed match, that was insanely fun to watch.
Nice.
But then Xavier and Abika come in and win 21-17 over Lucas and Antoinetta, so we go to a tiebreak.
Ooh, yep.
So the line for the tiebreak was Ryan versus Bruno, Abika's versus Antoinetto. You see how they made sure Anne-Sophie and Antoinette weren't playing each other?
I see that.
Xavier versus Lucas and Anne-Sophie versus Marie-Christine. The Smash roll that one 21-10.
Yeah, I'll say in theory they're strong. They're much stronger singles team.
Especially with Xavier in there. Like I said, with Xavier in there, because we know Anne's a good singles player. Abika's a good singles player.
Yeah,
Ryan's a good singles player, and then Xavier's kind of originally was picked as like the singles specialist, but he's just been playing so well that he's getting more and more floor time in the doubles as well, right? So yeah, Smash take that 3-2. I think they own the season series. Either they haven't lost or it's like 2-1. I think.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember. We'll have to take a look.
But I know they're winning it for sure. Next game was Toronto United versus the London Smash. So another really good matchup. And so you had Max and Matt versus Ryan and Xavier. Ryan and Xavier win that one 21-20. Another super close match.
Yeah.
Then Anne-Sophie and Abika win 21-15 over Jada and Maria. But then once again, Toronto United comes in and wins both mixed matches. Jada and Max winning 21-16 over Ryan and Anne-Sophie. Matt and Maria winning 21-19 over Abika and Xavier. Then we go to tiebreak. So it's Max versus Ryan, Jada versus Xavier. This is Toronto United's trump card every single time. Matt versus Anne-Sophie, and then Maria versus Abika. Toronto United takes that 21-17. So Toronto United takes the 3-2 win. The one little thing I thought that kind of messed the women's doubles up for Toronto United is they actually started the women's doubles with Maria playing the left and Jada playing right.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But then they called a timeout and switched it because they were down 12. They were down 12-8. But at that point, they couldn't really catch back up. I don't know why they started like that because they'd been playing so well with Jada playing the left and Maria playing the right.
Maybe they want to try something, but I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
But it's not the time to try that, though.
But then again, it was coming off them losing to Kelsey and Anna on court 1, that 21-16 loss.
They might
so I wonder if they were, maybe just trying to see if it changed. But then they got away from they called the timeout and switched it back really quickly because it wasn't working. Final game on court 2 was the Northern Lights versus the Drive. So this was some really good matches in this one. Jacob and Ben win 21-20 over Evan and Miles. So this was Miles' first game. Jess and Danny win 21-18 over Alexis and Una.
Okay.
And this surprised me. Like, they weren't using Jordan as much as I thought they should have.
Yeah, because
They were using Una a lot in the women's doubles, and Jordan is really, really good in women's doubles. Like if anyone doesn't remember, her and Jessica Kawamoto won the nationals last year in women's doubles.
Like they did, like both of them play. Like you remember, both of them played just a brick wall. Nothing's
and Jordan, Jordan's like the perfect setup person for Alexis. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know. That was interesting because
but they were only using her in mix, and I actually think Jordan's better in women's doubles as a right side.
Yeah.
She's still good in mix, but I thought especially last year when she was playing with Toronto United, she was so much better as a right side to when she was playing with Jada.
Yeah, she's so much I think in women's is somewhat more important to have a great defensive female, because I'm not saying that the power level, like there is a difference of power level between men's and women, and especially you can see in women's double there's much more firefight, and so sometimes the point lasts longer, and if you're able to extend the rally longer and longer, the defensive woman will be able to win the game or the point for you. So just look at the PPA side, the Kawamotos, like why they're still they're not playing a lot because they're not committed as much. But every time the Kawamotos play, they almost make it to the finals, or at least to the semifinals all the time, because they're able to extend the point nonstop all the time, just nonstop extending, extending the point, and just frustrating the other attacking women's trying to finish it and just not able to put the ball away, right? So well, obviously the Annalise a different animal. She'll find a way. Regardless,
she's the outlier. We don't if we're talking in general.
Exactly, you can't can Annalise Waters in
that's
that red, but
it's like comparing Gretzky to everybody else as a hockey player.
Exactly.
It's like they've lapped people already, so it's
exactly. So it's not the same thing, but like if you take the mass, or like the 80% of the general women's double population, if you have that two very strong brick wall defensive women, it's very tough to get past them, and then they will just grind you out to death kind of thing. Versus in mix is actually how much the man able to overpower the other man in order to win the match, or how much that woman able to set up that point to the men in order to win the match. So it's a different dynamics in the point. So a very defensive woman in mix is important, but she needs to have a very good counter punch, because you need that offense that in order to the man can insert himself in there. Or if the man is not as prominent, or he's not as making him as big into the game, even though you have a very good defensive woman, is not complementing enough.
Yeah, exactly right. So Jess and Danny take that 21-18, and then the two mix, Ben and Danny win 21-16 over Alexis and Evan, and then Jacob and Luis win 21-18 over Miles and Jordan. So Lights take that 4-0.
Ouch.
So at the end of day one, Lions are 0-3, Toronto United is 2-1, Smasher 2-1, Rapids are 2-1, the Lights are 3-0.
Oh, nice.
And then the Yeti are 2-1, Drive are 0-3, and then the Owls are 1-2.
Okay.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into this episode. We want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Kitchen Blockers. Me and Irene are sponsored by these guys, and if you're watching the video right now, I'm rocking their new red pair. These are safety glasses for pickleball players, made by pickleball players. They're lens-free, which means zero light refraction, zero frog, scratch-free, sweat-free, and gives you full court vision. If you guys head over to kitchenblockers.com and enter the code AGORMAN10, you can get 10% off your order. Thanks again for Kitchen Blockers for supporting us and this podcast. Back to the episode. We go to day two. Now, like I said, I didn't get to watch majority of these matches, so I'm just I'm gonna go through and just tell you who won. We're gonna kind of speed run this.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna jump back and forth between court 1 and court 2 and just say like the matchups and who won.
Yeah.
So court 1 was Toronto United versus the Yeti. Toronto United wins. I think it was 4-0 a sweep in that one.
Okay.
And then court 2, Rapids versus the Drive. The Rapids win that. I don't know what the score was, but I know the Rapids won. London Smash versus the Northern Lights. London Smash win that 3-1. Owls versus Toronto United. Owls win that 3-1.
Wow.
York Yeti versus the Vancouver Owls. Owls sweep that 4-0. Rapids versus the Lions. The Lions win. Don't know the score. Detroit Windsor Drive versus the Rapids. Rapids win that. Same thing. I'm not sure of the score. Lights versus the London Smash. Smash win that one 4-0. So the Lights and Smash played back-to-back versus each other. And then Lions versus Toronto United. That one went to a tiebreak, and Toronto United won the tiebreak 21-19 to win 3-2. Lights versus the Yeti. Apparently that one went to a tiebreak, and the Lights won. So the Lights won 3-2.
Okay.
Final 2 games, Drive versus the Lions. Lions win that. Not sure what the score was. And then final game was Owls versus the Smash. Smash win that 3-1.
Okay.
So the results of day 2 were the Lions went 2-1. Toronto United went 2-1. The Smash went 3-0. Rapids went 2-1. The Lights went 1-2. The Yeti were 0-3. The Drive were 0-3, and the Owls were 2-1. Okay. So the total results for the entire weekend: Smash went 5-1 with the best record.
That's nice.
Toronto United and the Rapids and the Lights all went 4-2.
Wow.
Owls went 3-3. The Lions went 2-4. The Yeti also went 2-4, and then the Drive went 0-6. Which ouch. So the current season standings are the Smash and Rapids are both 13-14, but I think from what I remember, the Smash have the tiebreak. And I'm pretty sure it's the season series, as I was saying earlier. I'm pretty sure the Smash either have a 3-0 or a 2-1 differential.
Yeah, something like that.
Toronto United is in 3rd place at 12-5. The Lions are in 4th at 10-7. The Owls are 8-9. The Lights make a big jump and are now 7-10 after going 4-2. So that was a good jump by the Lights, kind of building off the momentum they had before Joel got injured. And the Yeti are now 3-14, and the Drive are now 2-15.
Hey.
So if you want to jump over to the CNPL website, they actually have an article up right now by Elise Marion. Sorry, Elise, if I'm saying your last name wrong. And basically they break down what the playoff format would look like, because only the top 6 teams make it, and the top 2 teams get a bye. So right now it would be the London Smash and the Rapids would get a bye from the first round. So then you would start, if the playoffs were started, you'd have United versus the Lights and the Lions versus the Vancouver Owls. So this would be interesting, because I'm pretty sure United has right now, they've only, it's funny because United and the Lights have only played each other once so far this season. Now they're going to play each other a crap ton in the Metro split coming up. And United won that game 3-1. Montreal Lions and Vancouver, however, have played 3 times already, and the Lions lead that series 2-1. However, the Owls won the latest meeting between the 2 teams. Now, obviously, this can change because we still have 3 more splits left.
Yeah. So
technically, that's a total of 11 games each still for each team, because there's going to be 5 at the Metro and the Central split for each team, and then an additional 6 in the season finale.
Yeah.
And we're not doing West and East divisions. Well, we still divide them West and East technically for teams. But
but they're not dividing for the.
They're not dividing for the playoffs, even though last year they tried to do that and it ended up being 1 through 8 anyways. Which I thought was hilarious, how that worked out. But yeah. So, and every team plays each other 4 times, is what we've gotten from that. So the upcoming split is the Metro split, and that's going to feature the Lions, the Rapids, Toronto United, and the Lights. That is by far the heavy hitter split, if you're talking about it, because the Lights are now pushing their way up. Like they have a bit of momentum now.
Yes.
The Lions are kind of treading water. Toronto United is going really steady, and then the Rapids are pretty steady right now as well, right? So I don't know. I don't think you're going to see a single team go through that event going 5-0.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
I don't think it's going to happen. Unless one team like really locks in. And then the Metro is going to be, when is that? That's next weekend. So same weekend as Alberta Provincials. It's the my God. Dates 18th and 19th of July.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Central split will be in Collingwood on August 8th and 9th. So that'll feature the other 4 teams. So that's the Smash, the Owls, the Drive, and the Yeti. So
it's going to be at Jason's place.
Yeah. It's funny. So it's at Jason's place, but his team isn't playing.
Oh, why?
I know, right?
They did that. What the heck? They did that.
That's funny.
Oh my God. They should be hosting, right? So
Anyway. I think they're technically the hosts for the Newmarket one, because from what I've seen from the posts from the Northern Lights and stuff, they say that, so they're like the host team for the Metro split.
And I think at the same time, I'm not. We just try to make fun of Jason, but
we're gonna bug the crap out of Jason.
Yeah, he just. I think they just finished their facility too, so they weren't sure at that time how soon they're finishing, so they didn't want to overcommit for and then back out for nothing, right?
Yeah, exactly. So now for that Central split. Unless the Yeti and Drive can really get their stuff together, I could see possibly the Smash or the Owls going on a bit of a tear. It's basically going to be the Smash and the Owls fighting for supremacy in that split.
Yeah.
Right. So by far the teams in the Metro, that's gonna be the bloodbath split. For sure.
Ouch.
Kind of like how the Eastern split was like a bloodbath.
Like Smash, yes. It depends on, again.
It depends on what team shows up. Exactly.
Yeah, do they show up? That's the problem. And then we'll see if Yeti they're able to use Brad enough, or how they're gonna utilize Brad prep.
Well, both the Yeti and the Drive, I'd like to see them adjust their lineups a bit better. I don't think the Drive are using Jordan properly.
Yeah,
at least, and like I said, that's going off of day one. I did not see what they did for day 2 because of the lack of footage available.
Yeah.
So that they might have tried that and it still ended up in losses, but the games might have been closer for all we know, right?
Yeah. If they can use Jordan at her strongest, because Alexis and Jordan will be like almost like perfect women's pairing, right?
Yeah. And then same thing. I don't know if the Yeti used Brad a little bit more on day 2 or not.
Yeah,
same
we don't
thing.
know.
I didn't see the footage. So, but like from what I've seen from all the players, realistically, my ideal lineup for the Yeti would be Brad and Mikkel for men's. And then your women are kind of all 3 women are very, I don't want to say completely interchangeable, but they all work well as a women's pairing. It's who works the best in mixed. But then I would have Kyle as one of the men in mixed, Brad as one of the men in mixed. I thought Brad and Audrey were a really good pair, and then Kyle and Ava are already a solid pair together. So I'd kind of go Kyle and Ava, Brad and Audrey is what I would pick, at least from the footage I've seen. Mm-hmm. And then, like we were saying, for the Drive, I would use Jordan for both women's and mixed, and then probably Alexis, and then you sub Una in there if someone needs a break. But right now, from what I've seen from performance-wise, I would use Alexis and Jordan for both. The only one where Jordan might be where she's not much of a singles player. She's definitely more of a doubles player. So Una might be a better singles player. So then you're kind of playing. You kind of figure out what you want to use. Then I would probably then use Una in mixed and keep Jordan in women's if you're worried about going to a tie break.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, so we're now halfway through the season officially. The Yeti and Drive have to go on a tear if they want to get into the playoffs.
They have to do something because
they literally
clock's running out.
Because like put it this way, because so they get 5 games in their next split, even if like say for example for the drive, even if the drive go 5-0, they only tie the lights, and that's if the lights don't win. You know what I mean? So if the lights go 0-5 and the drive go 5-0, they'll be exactly tied.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't foresee the lights going 0-5, even in that super strong Metropolitan split. I can see the lights taking a couple games there, especially with the way they've been playing.
Yeah.
Right? So it's and then for the Yeti, same thing. Like they got one more win than the drive, but they still need to go on a bit of a tear. So the two of them need to beat each other because they're in the same split, and then they need to take a game or two from the Owls and the Smash.
Yeah. Eesh.
So it's going to be interesting. And then when you got the season finale at the end of summer. So it's at that point it might if they don't gain a little bit of ground by the end of these next 2 splits.
Yeah,
it might be too little, too late come the regular season finale, and then you just might see the top 6 teams jockeying for position to try and get that bye. Right? So because everyone, like the Owls are a little bit further back, but the Lions, Toronto United are within perfect striking distance of the Smash and Rapids to get into those top 2 spots. Like Toronto United's literally only 1 game behind. The Lions are only 3 games behind. The Lights might be able to catch the Owls and jump into 5th. Now if the Lights go on a tear, they could technically catch Toronto United. But they'll have to. But like I said, they're getting Toronto United and the Lions and the Rapids. So 3 teams they're chasing in the next split. So if the Lights want to make a push, they have to take a bite out of those teams.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy for sure.
No, it's not. But it makes it for entertaining TV. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's pretty much the mid-season event. Now, staying on the CNPL note, because the next things we're talking about are Team Canada, which basically is all CNPL players anyways. So we're going to cover that. So right now, as we're recording, we're in day 1 of the MILP mid-season tournament going on in, is it Grand Rapids?
Yes, it's already happening. Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Yeah, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Day 1 is currently it's over now because it's like 9 o'clock our time. Yeah. So, Team Canada played the SoCal Hard 8s. They did lose 3 straight games. And this is not a shot at our players, but that's kind of to be expected.
Yeah,
this is their first. A lot of them, it's their first foray playing this team format against high-level pro players in the States who've been playing against other high-level pro players throughout the entire season of MLP. So it's not just that these players are high level; they've been constantly playing against the best of the best the entire season.
And they're playing in the most of the PPA players too. So you're like, right. So
we weren't expecting them to we were at best hoping for maybe they force a Dream Breaker.
Yeah, hopefully.
To be honest, like that would have been like exceed expectations for me.
Yeah, I know.
So, but that's this. It went the same for all the other like special teams, and because there was a Team Australia, a Team Europe, and a team of College All Stars. All the teams lost. The only team that made a dent was the College All Stars, which is to be expected because a lot of those College All Stars also play in a lot of the PPA events,
or train with them, or train with those,
or train with them, right? So yeah. But all of the special teams lost, so they're now all on the B side. So Team Canada is going to play the loser of Chicago and Brooklyn. That'll be, by the time this podcast comes out, it'll be, I'm hoping to get it out by tomorrow, which will be Thursday. So 9 p.m., whatever Michigan time is, which is what, Eastern?
Central.
Yeah,
I will say Central.
So 9 p.m. Central time is when they're going to play the loser of Chicago and Brooklyn, because that game's taking place early in the morning around 9 or 8 a.m. or something like that. So if they lose that, they're out. But it's going to be a tough battle either way. But they do have one more game, and that's of course So Team Canada consisting of Ryan Torrenson, McConnor Dye, Kyle Hermetz, Rosie Johansson, Kim Layton, and Jordan Vigna. So if you can, tune into Pickleball TV to cheer them on. So, and we said Eastern, right, Vic? We fixed that from Central?
Eastern time zone. Zone.
All right. So So it'll be 9 p.m. Eastern. So roughly, if you're in Alberta, about 7 p.m. And cheer them on. They're going to be in tough, whether it's Chicago or Brooklyn. Those are both really good teams, or decent teams in the MLP. So they're going to be in tough, but cheer them on anyways. And then moving on to our Team Canada for the World Cup. I'm wearing my Team Canada shirt right now. If you didn't see JWE's post, she posted, and I shared it in my story as well. Of course, Pickleball Canada, once again, not helping out with that. So they do have a GoFundMe page. It's on my story right now. It's on Jada's as well. I'm going to put the link to the GoFundMe in the show notes. So go to that, help these guys get to Vietnam to represent the country. But we do have our full rosters for both the open and senior teams. Still waiting on our junior. But before that, we had a couple more management group announcements. So our good friend Jason White is going to be media relations manager. Shout out, Jason.
Nice. And
former NHLer, current owner of the York Yeti, Cody Hodgson is the advisor to the GM and head ambassador. So shout out to Cody Hodgson. That's awesome.
That's nice.
So he's joining Brett Shepley, who is the director of player personnel, who's also with the Yeti. And then, of course, UEC Lau, hardest working man in pickleball, as the GM.
As always.
So our full open and roster for open, of course, Ernesto is our captain. We have Ryan Torrenson, JWE, and Sophie as the starting four. And then we have Matt Kawamoto as the player coach. Nice. And then Luis Kwong as our third female. So definitely, if you look at our females, all have the ability to play a Dream Breaker.
That's stacked. That's a stacked feel.
That's a stacked team. And of course, I'm actually really interested to see how this lineup's going to work now, because now that you have Luis in there, and her and Jada are good friends too. So I'm wondering if you do Luis and Jada, because Luis being a lefty is more of a natural right side. So I wonder if you put her in the women's and use Anne-Sophie and Jada for the mix.
It's going to be interesting.
I'm interesting how that's, because I know they said starting four, but you can kind of do the thing where you can sub players in and out. And in the World Cup, you can sub them out mid-match.
Yeah.
Because I know when we played, who did we lose to in the last one?
Is it Spain?
No, like Puerto Rico or
Portugal.
I can't remember, but I know
it was a Europe team.
Yeah, I know midway through the women's match they subbed one of the female players out with the other female player in, because Jada and Anna were basically mopping the floor with them.
Yes.
Right.
I would believe it was Portugal. I think it was Portugal.
Portugal, it was like Portugal or Puerto Rico. It was one of.
It's not Puerto Rico, so for sure.
Not Puerto Rico. Okay, so it was like
it's
something
a
like
European
that.
team. It's a European team, and I'm pretty sure it was Portugal. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have to check.
Well, we can double check after. If you remember the team, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the ability to now have three women who are really, really good at singles, makes the ability to, if someone is having an off game, you can sub that in.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, with Luis being a lefty and being able to being someone who's always playing right, it makes the ability to sub in, because we were already saying, like, between Anne-Sophie and Jada, who's playing left, who's playing right, because they're both powerhouses who love to use their power.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas if you put Luis in there, yes, you have two forehands in the middle, but Luis is also used to kind of giving that little bit of space to someone, and then you still have her killer drive down the line, right?
Yep.
We know for sure it's more than likely going to be Ernesto and Ryan starting, but then you also have Matt Kawamoto to be able to come in if someone needs a sub as well, and as the player coach, because Matt's got a brilliant pickleball mind.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be really fun to watch these guys play. They better be broadcasting it live. If not, I'm gonna just say you. I'm gonna say Yui do an Instagram live and just stick your phone on the damn fence. Like,
well, we will be watching it. That's
yeah,
for sure.
exactly.
Well, at least I would try if it's not in the middle of a moving.
Yeah,
of my moving. I'm just hoping I'm not moving. But whatever.
Either hoping you're not moving by then, or hoping you're already done moving by then, right? Like,
yeah, I know. It's just I don't know what to say.
But yeah, so out of the open players, the only returning player is Jada. And honestly, that makes sense with there being no cap on there's no 5.5 cap anymore. So now you have the ability to have Ernesto, have Ryan, have Matt
big
play,
time.
right? Mm-hmm. Have Anne-Sophie. So now when we look at our senior team, our bronze medal team from last year, a lot of returning players. Of course, Rob Chrismanic, I apologize, Rob, if I'm saying that name wrong, as the player captain. Of course, Corey Osborne back as well. Tim McVeeny as the player coach. Margit Ardma. Sorry, Margit.
Anyway,
and then Meg. And so Margit's back. Corey's back. I'm pretty sure Rob on the team last year. Rob was on the team last year. Everyone on this team was on the team last year. I'm pretty sure. So it's an insanely good senior roster, regardless.
We should have anyway. Yeah,
because for those of you who don't remember,
I'll take a check.
But yeah, for those of you who don't remember, Rob and Corey were the original owners of the Northern Rollers team and were the male players in season 1 of the CNPL. And then Rob has been down in the States consistently playing high level senior ball. So like this is yeah, go back and look at our notes, Vic, because that's driving me insane. I'm 90% sure this is almost a full returning team. I think the only one who's not is Tim. But Tim was like one of the coaches last year.
Yeah, I was right. I was check. I was right. Portugal. They lost the quarterfinal with Portugal. I was right.
Okay.
Let's take a look about seniors team. What was the senior team?
That's driving me insane right now.
A second. I'm almost there. I'm almost there.
But yeah, so once again, go to the GoFundMe page. Like I said, I'm going to stick that in the show notes. So if you can support, or if you're a company listening to this and you want to sponsor Team Canada, get a hold of them, head over to the website. I'll also have the website in the show notes as well.
Okay, got it. Yeah, okay. Susan Anderson was there.
Okay.
Margit was there. Who else you just said?
Maggie Murch.
No, I haven't seen her. Maggie?
Yeah.
Murch?
Or Margaret?
Margaret.
Yeah.
Margaret Murch. Yeah.
And then Corey. Was Rob there last year?
Yeah, Rob Krishmanish.
Yeah.
Am I right? Sorry.
Yeah.
I might be
okay, yeah. So that's the entire returning senior team, and then Tim is the new member as the player coach, but he was part of the organization last year as a coach.
Yeah. So yeah, it's
right?
the whole team. Yeah, it's the whole team.
So that's like the whole almost the whole team back from the bronze medal last year at the World Cup. So
yeah.
And like we said, they lost in the semis to the U.S. in a dream breaker.
Oh, yeah,
so right there, it was right there the chance at a gold and silver. So our senior team once again has a really good chance of repeating. And with our open team this year, that's literally a CNPL All-Star team. I'm looking forward to seeing how well we do this year. I'm I don't want to say guarantee, but I'm thinking at least top 5.
We should be close to medal. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, like hardcore podium threat.
Mm-hmm,
so now we're just waiting for the junior team announcement. I'm really interested to see who we got, because like we literally have a junior player playing on the Team Canada at MLP right now in McConnor Dye.
Yeah,
now,
exactly.
I know he's playing high level against adults right now, and probably playing the juniors is probably going to be like taking candy from a baby for him. But you get to represent
chance quite a bit. Good chance, right? To
medal. Yeah.
If McConnors.
But if I'm looking at how well our junior team did last year, because they came in 4th and they lost in a tiebreak in the bronze medal game.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Against India, right?
Something like that. But if I'm looking at the players in that, because we had some good players, but not pro level yet.
Mm-hmm. And
right?
if you add McConnor,
if you put McConnor there, and even think Jacob. Like if Jacob put his name, like if you could go McConnor and Jacob, these are two players under the age of 18 who won APA. Like they swept the podium in APA.
I know.
Right? If you could have those as your two starting males for junior.
Oh.
Like I know probably for them they're thinking like, I don't know if the competition's good. Go in and win Canada a medal.
I know.
Please. Type of thing, right? Like
I don't know.
Like I know like I said, I know because they're both playing pro level right now against adults.
Yeah.
Like Jacob's never played it I don't think Jacob's ever really played junior. McConnor hasn't played junior.
No, I don't think they played junior. That's true. They have been always playing
McConnor did play junior at one point because I remember him saying to Benjamin Lim when at APA that he played Benjamin Lim at a junior PPA event, but like 4 years, like 3 or 4 years ago.
But that's different. It's like US juniors and juniors are insanely good too. So
yeah. But this is why I mean, like, but I don't, because I know I played one of Jacob's first tournaments. I played against him when he was like freaking like 13 or 12 or whatever the heck it was, right? So, but yeah, these both our open and senior teams are stacked. I'm super excited for this this team. Like I said, UE, let us know if it's broadcasting so we can share it. If it's not broadcasting, you or Ricky, get your damn phone out and just do an Instagram live or something during the matches. You literally just stick the phone on the fence and just record. You don't have to do commentary or anything like that. But
yeah, we just want to watch.
Yeah, we want to watch for sure. Like we said, unfortunately we can't be there. I didn't have enough RTO left to be able to go, and Vic's obviously gonna be in the process of moving.
Yeah, I'm in the otherwise I would like to go, but it's just I'm in the middle of moving. I don't think anyone's gonna let me.
No,
the family will let me go.
Yeah, so unfortunately, but yeah, we're hardcore supporting it. So like we said, link in the description if you want to sponsor the GoFundMe page, or if you're a company, I'll also have the website so you can get a hold of like Ricky and them if you want to, like, get your name on the jersey or sponsor some equipment or sponsor the travel expenses, all that stuff. Because unfortunately, like we said, it's coming out of pocket because once again, Pickleball Canada is not helping out, which once again is a drop ball. Like Pickleball Canada needs to get their act together. They need to start working with the CNPL so that they don't have the schedule conflicts. Because once again,
I
know. We won't be able to do commentary at, like, you're not going to be able to do commentary because you're moving. I'm not going to be able to do commentary because I'm playing at Nationals the same time as the season finale.
Season finale, I know.
Which pisses me off because when they first announced the season finale, I was like, oh, that's in Vancouver. That's only like a short flight or like a drive.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll be close enough, right?
It's close enough.
We're actually planning.
Like, yeah, because me and Vic we were texting. It's like, hey, is it cheaper? Like Vic because of his military thing, he's like, oh, I can just do the thing and get there with like, what was it, like $200 or $300 or something, like.
Exactly.
And I was like, okay, well, for me, I'm like, I either have to drive to Edmonton and fly with you, or I have to drive to Fort St. John's and fly from there or something like that. And it was a little bit more expensive for me, but still, it was doable.
Yeah, it was kind of doable and everything, but anyway.
But yeah, so unfortunately, as soon as the Nationals thing came up, it didn't work out, and I'm still kicking myself for not putting my name in for Team Alberta now that I know I'm going to Nationals. But it is what it is. But yeah, so we're super excited for obviously the next event for CNPL. Make sure you're cheering on Team Canada at MLP because that one is sponsored by Pickleball Canada, and it's live on Pickleball TV. It'd be nice if Pickleball Canada could sponsor both because they're both representing the country.
Wow,
but whatever.
Yes. I don't know.
But yeah, let's totally play favorites for no apparent reason.
I just don't know why they don't do that. Especially it's a pro league in Canada. Anyway, I don't.
Well, and like I said, I'll say it again. At bare minimum, share the posts.
Yeah, just promote.
It's
just
not
how promote it then.
Whoever's running Pickleball Canada's Instagram account, all you have to do is whenever the CNPL posts something, share it. That's literally all you have to do. That's all you have to do to start, because the amount of people who like play rec
I think
play
it's a little bit more than that. I think there's some politics also under this, because reason I'm saying that is from in the referee perspective, I think they're trying to distance themselves from CNPL for some reason. But yeah, between CNPL and like their Pickleball Canada sanctioned events. So it's definitely there's some politics
Oh,
around that, and I don't.
it's always politics, but it's stupid because this is the only pro league in Canada. Like, yeah, let's turn into USAP and PPA and like how that's not working out.
There's no for some reason. That you
Like
have to think
you're gonna lose all the advanced players because the CNPL is growing. Like guaranteed, as soon as they find a couple more owners, and that turns from 8 teams into like 10 to 12
yeah.
teams. All your advanced players are not going to be going to your stuff if you keep scheduling it at the same time as CNPL.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
if you look at nationals this year, it's already watered down. Like there's people playing in the open this year at nationals who, if the pro players were coming, would be playing in the 4.5.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
I know, but like, and that's the problem. And sometimes that's the reason I always criticize the PPA, but I give props to the PPA at the same time. You need to be the disruptor in order to make changes, and the PPA was kind of the disruptor. They came in with their UPAA organization for the paddle. They came in with their own rules, and now they're basically disrupting USAP. Like a lot of people now basically starting to discredit USAP because they're not following the trend of pickleball. They're not following how the pro games has been advanced. They are not following how the paddle technology has been increased or have advances. That's a better word. So and anyway, like same like Pickleball Canada has a lot of catch up to do. We're not, first of all, nowhere close to how USAP is running their stuff, and now in pro games we're nowhere near collaborating.
No, exactly. Like they're not nowhere near. Well, now you have miniature leagues popping up, being feeder leagues into the CNPL, and now a lot of those players aren't bothering going to sanctioned tournaments because it's like, why? I'm playing in this league already, which is highly competitive, and then if I'm ever so like if I improve myself enough, I have the possibility of getting drafted into the CNPL. Like example, the Kling Rising League in Ontario right now, right?
I know.
They have there's 10
teams.
in
Everyone
that
heard our version of the story. I think we read enough. I think that's good. Everyone who listened to our podcast knows that we have our opinion on this.
Well, it's an opinion, but honestly, like I don't care what the issue is, what the politics issue is. You have to support growth in the sporting community, or else the sport's going to die.
Yeah.
So put your egos aside and work something out.
Put your difference aside. We just need to work with each other and continue to grow of pickleball, because I'm not saying that it's starting to die, that grow in especially in US. A lot of people now has been talking about this very lately, but you can start to see there is facilities starting to wind down, trying to shut down because they don't have as much people playing, or obviously there's multiple reasons. There's just not only there's not enough player playing, but it's probably sometimes like they have the programmings are not good enough, or like the location the weather is too good outside, as the people doesn't want to come play. There's all those things, but it seems like the exponential growth that we had in a few years ago is starting to taper off, and we're starting to see that plateau.
Oh no, it's going to plateau, like I said, especially if you're not working with the growth of the sport. And like the next big thing is getting into schools.
Yeah,
and get
the juniors.
How
you start the juniors.
That's how you create more players. Because pickleball started as a quote unquote an old person sport. Those people are eventually going to age out. Yes, you can play pickleball for a very long time, but on the competitive side of things, like going to tournaments. Mm-hmm. Eventually you get to the point where, you know what, I don't know if my knees or my back or whatever is going to hold up this. I can still go play for fun socially, but I'm not going to go pay, $89 to go to go to a tournament where I'm trying so hard that I might, throw something or pull something.
It could be 100 in a few years.
Yeah, exactly. Right. At 100 and like you barely get a medal. The way tournaments are being run right now, right? Like it's like you're paying all this extra fee and you're not getting anything. But we've ranted on that enough as well.
Yeah, no, we ranted enough. We're good. We're good.
So
anything else?
So next episode is we're probably gonna run we might have to do a double recording actually in a week and a half because we're gonna have provincials in Alberta, which you're reffing in, I'm playing in. Right,
I'm which is whole 4 days. So if you're in Calgary, say shout out to me. I'll be 4 days in the court. I might not. If I'm reffing, I'm not going to respond to you, unfortunately, because this is if I'm reffing, I have to put my focus on the game. I will not respond to you. But if I'm not reffing, definitely give me a shout out. Andrew Airy will be playing there, so definitely come say hi to them.
Yeah, and I'm not playing the first day because it's just women's. So I'll just be there in plain clothes, cheering / coaching Irene on. I will be attending the gala because, of course, Irene's going to be getting introduced with Team Alberta at that. So that's the Friday nights. So I'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Unfortunately, I can't stay for singles because I couldn't get enough time off. So as soon as me and Irene are done playing, our mixed, we're driving back to Peace River. Now, if we make it to the finals, that means we're finishing at like 8:30 at night. So that's going to be a long drive. But if I have a medal around my neck, it'll be worth it. So, but So, and of course, the CNPL Metropolitan Split is the same weekend as that.
Yeah.
So obviously we won't be part of the broadcast for that because we're going to be busy. Obviously, I'll have to retroactively watch the Saturday games because, of course, me and Irene are playing Saturday, but I might be able to watch the Sunday games live depending on if I'm working on Sunday or not. Because the only reason why I didn't sign up for singles is because I'm on call. So I have to be back. I have to, because it's my job's an on-call job, so I have to be back in Peace River in case I get called out, but there's no necessary guarantee I'll have a job.
True.
But, we'll probably end up, me and Vic will probably end up probably
we'll record it.
Tuesday or Wednesday we'll just do record the CNPL recap and then record the Alberta Provincials recap with whatever other news stories we have as well. So other than that, thanks for watching, everyone.
After that you'll be back, right? The after provincial we're doing something special after that, right?
Oh yes, we're doing we're doing the going away party for Vic.
We'll talk about that after the provincial. I'm ready to do some mic and some stuff to.
Oh, we should do a mic. We should do a mic'd up game.
Yes, that's the plan. That was
definitely do a mic'd up game. Yeah,
that was the plan.
So we'll do a mic and then I'll wear my we can both wear our meta glasses and record as well. So you'll have like the views with the mic and then you'll have the first person views as well. And we'll do like a compilation video of that match. That'll be fun.
So
that might not be an episode. That might be a bunch of stuff on social media where and maybe like a YouTube like game video.
Exactly.
But that'll be fun. But we're looking forward to that. So other than that, we'll see you guys in about week and a half, 2 weeks, and we'll probably have two episodes really quickly there for you. Like we said, with the CNPL Metropolitan Split and with like Alberta Provincials, me playing, Vic reffing, and then whatever other news comes through the cycle there. So once again, support Team Canada going to the World Cup. Link in the description below, and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.
Thanks everyone for listening.
Go, go.